did when he was in Colorado in those playoff series. When the game's on the line, he comes up with mammoth save. Oh. Save Theodore again! He robbed him with the glove.
What a save, Jose Theodore. Inside Theodore! What a huge stop! He shoots the puck. Theodore the save.
Theodore comes up huge.
Somehow Theodore miraculously got to it.
Front reach shot. Oh, what a save by Jose Theodore. He absolutely robbed Justin Benner.
He robs Ryder and gets the standing ovation.
Fires one towards the goal. That's going to be gloved by Travis Ridgen. Well, this is more like it.
This is Slangin' the Biscuit. Here's Travis Ridgen and Dave Wheeler.
Ladies and gentlemen, lads and ladies, welcome back inside the Slinging the Biscuit summer, now fall, slowly trickling into the winter interview series. This series has been a success. Today's guest, man, the pride of Laval, Quebec, the 44th overall pick in the 1994 NHL entry draft, over 600 NHL games played, 2,000 NHL All-Star, one of 17 men to walk this earth and score a goalie goal in the National Hockey League. This guy's got more hardware than the Home Depot. We're talking striking gold. 1996 World Juniors with Team Canada, 2002 NHL MVP. You wanted the best, you got it. Best goaltender in the world with the Vezina. 2010 Bill Masterton Trophy Award winner, host of his 60 with 60 podcast, and most importantly, the man that was my childhood idol growing up, the goaltender that inspired me to become a goalie myself. Thank you and welcome to the show, Jose Theodore.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm a big fan of you guys, and it's always good to talk with, the goalie union. We're pretty tight. And for you, Trav, I have something special for you. Oh. I have only one pad, though. The other one, I don't know where it is. Uh-oh. This is from 2002, The Legacy. But I'm looking for the other one. I only have one. That's the problem. I have one pad. I can't find the other one, but I have one pad. These were the best pads ever, by the way. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
I got an idea. I know the media kind of painted you as a bit of a trouble child. Jose Theodore has a bit of a problem. He's trying to find the left leg pad of his Vaughn Legacy. Those are the 5500s or those V2s?
You know what? To be honest, I'm not a geek like you guys. Like I heard you talk about my black skates. And you know what? You're the second guy that brought this up. The other guy was Patrick Lalime, the goalie. And I worked with him on the TVA when I was doing the broadcasting. It's like, there's one thing I didn't understand. I'd never liked black skates, blah, blah, blah. I didn't like the black skates. Me, the only reason I have black skates, just so you know, it's before it was white skates. And then you would get all the puck marks and it would get all dirty. They came with black. And I didn't really pay attention to my equipment. Like you're talking me number. I just know that these were the Legacy. What number? I have no clue. They were made to my specs. And that's all I know.
Can you back that up a little? Let's get a little perspective, a little 360 there. You got the double bootstrap, Legacy. Oh, that looks like a V2 leg channel. If you're in the audio version, you're really missing out. What a treat. Also, that background behind you, that glove save against Boston, I think behind the back on Bill Guerin, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's not. That's another. Like that was an artist in Montreal, like a girl that she did that painting and then created lithograph on the side. So it was kind of a collab that I did with her. I signed 60. That's the original paint. But that saved. It's funny because I remember like yesterday. That was Sergei Samsonov on a breakaway in Montreal, and he actually scored that goal. It's not a save. He beat me. He saved. But on the painting, what they did, because that was the picture they used for the Montreal season tickets, because they thought it was a good shot. It was actually a real picture from the net cam. But because the puck was in the net, they kind of edited it and they put it like I saved it. But that was actually a goal. So to be honest, that was edited. And on the season tickets, it was edited. But that was actually that play. It was a goal. I bit on the first shot. He dicked me and he scored. So that was the goal, but now it looks like a save. So we'll leave it as is.
Could you slide over just to the left a little bit, just so look at that. That is a beautiful painting.
Yeah.
Goodness. What year was that done? When did you get that done?
That was year after the award in 2002 when I won the Vezina and Hart. The artists did all that. It was actually a pretty nice painting, to be honest. It was a nice promotion, something that we did in Montreal. They had some smaller scale down lithograph. They only did 60, and I think it was selling for charity. But that's the original that she did, the big one. So I just kept it because it's brings back good memories.
I find it fascinating that you say you're not much of a geek when it comes to the gear and whatnot, because you were always held in very high regard for your style on and off the ice. So I'm fascinated why you didn't. I mean, obviously you cared the way you looked on the ice, just not about the gear particularly.
No, you know what? Like, I'm going to show you something else that you have. If you look right here, I'm going to turn around. Like, I'm going to bring it, even if you can't see. Like, all my helmets are there, and in Canada, that's the gold medal. That nowadays we don't really win, but World Juniors here, I'm going to bring. So, but all that to say, that's my helmet in Montreal that I had. And you know, when you're a goalie, like, everybody puts their helmet in their protection case, and that helmet is so beat up. Like, I just threw it. I had one paint job that lasted for all my career in Montreal. I didn't really redo it. I didn't change my straps. I'm just old school, where I would go and just put my gear. But on the flip side, it needs to be the same way over and over. Like, don't try to upgrade me to a new style. Don't try to change. I'm still missing straps, but I'm just saying, like, I was missing paint, and it wasn't like I would never put my mask in the case to protect it. So I had my gear, I liked it, and that's the way it was. But I wasn't like a crazy, like, doing all the new thing. I was so upset when I had to change my Sherwood stick, wooden stick, for the graphite Bauer. Like, I would like to keep my wooden stick. I didn't want to change my equipment. Just old school.
I want to get into that for a second, but the mask was so, like, that's almost unheard of. And today, where guys go through 3-4 masks a season, you used it for how many years? And if I'm not mistaken, you changed the red cage for the chrome cage in 05-06?
What happened is, maybe you're right. What happened is, again, one of my mistakes, business-wise, it's I was always super loyal to Vaughn. I would have Vaughn and my wooden Sherwood stick. Sherwood would pay me good money. Vaughn would pay me good money. Then when I won the Hart and Vezina, all the companies were throwing at me their gear, right? So then iTech came and said, we want to sign you, and you have the stick, and we'll be able to copy your pads, the same thing. So I threw a stupid number. I'm like, well, if you pay me, and I'm going to tell you the deal, because I mean, it is what it is. I said, if you pay me 3 years, $300,000 a year, 900,000, and you say you're going to copy it, I'll do it, because I thought they would copy it. So I switched for iTech, and then that's when iTech made the mask. So I changed my paint job a little bit, changed the cage, changed the pads, the mitts, and everything. And you know what? Again, all the respect to iTech, they tried. They could never do what Vaughn had to do. And if there's kids out there, don't go for the money. Stay for what you like. Because for me, you know what happened? And I'm fast forwarding, but when I got traded to Montreal to Denver, which was pretty much a year after this, I didn't have a good season in Colorado. I didn't like the gear, didn't feel comfortable. So I called my Vaughn rep. I'm like, listen, send me some gloves. I don't care my iTech contract. I'm going to leave money on the table. But then Vaughn didn't want to send me the gloves. They're like, no, you're going to keep it. You're going to keep it so iTech could copy it. They didn't want to send it. I'm like, listen, send me the glove in the morning, and I promise I'm going to play with it nighttime at the game, just to prove that I really wanted my old school equipment. So they put a pair of blocker and glove quickly, got them, practice in the morning with it, played the game with it. And then they're like, okay, now you're obviously breaking your iTech deal, so we're going to do equipment. And if you look at when I played in Colorado, my first year, I had iTech gear. And then midway towards the end, I'm back with Vaughn. But to get back with Vaughn, it was hard, because Mike Vaughn, the owner, was pissed that I didn't stick with Vaughn. They didn't want to send it to me. I said, look, I'll play for free. I don't care. Just give me my gear that I could find my confidence back. They did that. And I did find my confidence back, and I stuck with Vaughn all the way after. So just a little tidbit of goalie nerd that I think you appreciate these inside scoops.
What was the conversation with iTech like? Did you just tell him, hey, you guys are doing a great job. This ain't working. I wish you all the best type of deal. It's not you, it's me?
The type of deal is not much. Just you can't get it right. Just hopefully you're not looking at the game tonight, because I'm not wearing your gear at tonight's game. And then as soon as I was on TV with my Vaughn glove, that was it. But I really didn't care, because at this point it's like, okay, I'm making so much more money playing hockey. I need to be good, and I'm very superstitious in my equipment. And I just couldn't get the feeling right. So I mean, as soon as I went back to Vaughan, even though I asked them to do the legacy back, and Vaughan's like, no, sorry, that was the past model. We're not doing it. So now I was trying to get the newer velocity with the old Vaughan. And if you look at pictures, you'll see that even when I played in Florida at the end, the front, it looks like a newer pad. But if you look at the inside, it's still that old school where you really put it tight, because I like it tight. So that was kind of my equipment story. But I did the same thing when I played the major junior, because I was in Hall and I in Saint Jean, and I was playing with Vaughan. And then Louisville signed a contract with the league. You had to play with Louisville. It was the kind of a deal. Every goalie had to play with Louisville. I couldn't stand the equipment. The pads were not bad, but not the glove. So what I did is I took my Vaughan glove, and I went to a designer that does stickers, and I copied all the Louisville sticker. So I removed all the Vaughan stickers. So I removed the Louisville stickers, put the other way around.
Yeah.
I put the Louisville sticker, but it was a Vaughan glove, and I just copied the Louisville sticker. So when you look at pictures when I played in Hall when I'm 18, 19, my glove says Louisville everywhere. But if you pay attention to that, it's actually a Vaughan glove. There's no way I'm playing with a Louisville glove. And then they never found out because I never got fined. They never said anything. So they thought it was a Louisville glove, but it was my Vaughan glove.
Well, I'm pretty sure Tiger Woods was doing the same thing when he signed with Nike, and he was actually using Titleist gear with Nike logo stamped on it. So, it's all about the branding. They don't necessarily care about the production of it, right?
I don't know. It's more, I think the athletes were sometimes a little bit messed up, but it's just, you got to feel comfortable, man.
Well, and they went bankrupt how many years ago? So any rep seeing it, you're good. TPS, or Louisville went to TPS, TPS went to Bauer, and they've been done for like 10, 15 years now.
But Vaughan, for me, Vaughan is always for me, it's part of, I've been always pretty much always, before I was with Heaton, but I went with Vaughan. When I got the gear the legacy with that logo, my gloves and my helmet, that's kind of when I really stepped into the NHL, into myself. I felt good with the equipment. I liked it, and I played with that for many years in Montreal, and that was just, that was my go-to. And I didn't want to change my logo, because I feel when, you have fans and kids, they know you with your masks. I don't feel like changing too often. They like the mask. I was getting kids. They want me to sign this. They have the same mask. So I just always try to stick with the same kind of looks, just because I feel I owe that to the fans.
Speaking of style and whatnot, I want to give you some credit. I don't know if you're willing to take it or not. I don't know if it was right time, right place, but if you look a lot of the guys that are walking into the rink these days, they got some style with their suits and whatnot. You were kind of one of the first guys outside of the Tiger Williams and whatnot, but you were one of the first guys to really show some style walking into the barn. Do you take credit for that?
I'm not going to take credit for that, but I'm going to take credit for not really giving a damn what people think. Because I remember when in 2004, I showed up at the press conference when I signed either my first big contract with Montreal, the second one. I showed up with 2 huge diamond earrings. Back then, you didn't have hockey players with earrings. I had 2 giant studs, 3 carat in each ear, tank top, showed up the hat sideways. So I did kind of push the envelope, but back then it was very old school. So I kind of pushed it to the limit. For me, it was more I just like the style. I like the NBA players. Back then, David Beckham came with the earrings. So, you have to have fun with the game. You're in the show. You're playing in a big market. Doesn't mean I don't care and I'm not respecting the thing, but until you're telling me that I'm not allowed to do it, I'm going to do it. If you're telling me, okay, no this. But me and Mike Ribeiro, we used to kind of challenge ourselves. Okay, what's the dress code? You're allowed to wear a toucan when it's cold. Well, then we're going to wear baseball hats. So we would walk in games with our suit and the baseball cap sideways like Allen Iverson, until the team's yeah, you know what? I don't think baseball cap is allowed. Why not? Not allowed. Then we would walk in with our earrings. Not allowed. So we would always push the envelope. But I mean, it was a different time back then. It was just, we were just having fun with it.
I'm giving you credit for it. That's all you.
Okay, well, I'll take it. It's funny though, because I bumped into PK Subban. I was done playing, so he was still in Montreal. And, obviously, me and PK, we have the same agent, Donnie Meehan, and I always liked PK because I feel he took what I was doing to another level. Like, PK took it to another level in Montreal. I was like, yeah, I like what he's doing. He's going out there. Some people like it, but he took it to the next level. And then one time we're out, we're out in a good spot, in a good night place in Montreal, and I'm on my side and he's on his side. And then, I don't know, either he find out I was there, but he came up to me, and credit to him, he came up, he says, Theo, can't believe, oh man, I heard so much about you, like I love your style, come and sit with me. And then we hit it off pretty good. So I just feel like PK took what I started to another level. And it was fun to see that because, I think hockey needs to evolve a little bit, which we're finally seeing with no dress code, and we're following the other sports, which is kind of good, I think, for me personally.
Well, that's a great transition, and I'm curious to know if he was a catalyst in this because when Trav told me that we were getting you on the show, I was like, oh my God, he's actually alive? Like, he's actually available now? Because, you went away for a little while. And PK went off, and he's doing great things with Hockey Night in Canada and everything, and down in the States. And now here you are doing your podcast back on social media. What was the catalyst for you getting back in front of the media?
You know what? I was in front from so many years in Montreal, and I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I played it. I was out in the summertime when we were going out, and I was doing commercial on TVs. I had like sponsors. I was doing TV things, everything. But it just, when I came in Florida, you get older, it's like I liked my privacy, and I didn't want to just do anything to do anything because, nowadays you could get asked for a lot of things. So I did do some broadcasting after my career, just with the TV station. That was good. But it was more like, what? I don't know if I want to get back in the spotlight in a way kind of thing. And I was doing my own thing because since I retired, I've been really involved in a lot of businesses. Like, I own like a bunch of Airbnbs in Florida. Me and I'm partners with Search of R, the Search of R of Montreal. We bought Céline Dion's private golf course. So I own the golf course in Montreal. So I'm really, really involved, which I did a lot off the ice, but just under the radar. But then I'm like, I miss talking about the game. I miss being with the guys. Then I got a great opportunity to start a podcast with my brother-in-law that he owns the station because he's in the TV business. And we negotiated something, we talk, and you know what? It was more about just reconnecting with my friends. Like, when you meet guys like Stéphane Robideau on my podcast, Michel Therrien, Francis Bouillon, Patrice Brisebois, George St. Pierre, you have these guys. It's just like now it's like I'm having fun again talking with them, and I kind of miss that from playing hockey. Like I always say, the only thing I miss the most about playing hockey is after a big win on the road, when you're on in the plane and you're having a glass of wine and you're shooting shit with the guys, when you're on the road going to restaurant, going out, this is what you miss. So I just felt, you know what? I think I owe to the fan to get back a little bit out there and kind of give them a little bit more of what I'm up to. So I just felt it was the right time to kind of get back slowly into the mix.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the podcast. From what I understand, it's predominantly in French. Is that correct?
It is to start just because, we're building something. So obviously, because the studios in Montreal wanted to start in French and try to build a fan base. But like I said, we're going to do it in English because, if I'm only limited in French, I'm sacrificing a lot of great players that are friends of mine. I could talk about Joe Sakic, Terry Ryan. You can name it. A lot of that. Jovanovski, that's my next door neighbor. Marty Havlak lives 2 streets down. Blake Wheeler. There's so many guys right here. So obviously, I want to evolve into English podcasts as well because that's a big plus. But I'm just taking it slowly, just like anything else I do. I just want to make sure I walk before I run. But you'll see that, and there's a platform on the App Store. You guys could go, and I'm plugging myself, but you could go. It's KO Sport, like KO, like a KO Sport, and then you download that. You got all kind of sports podcasts, and eventually mine's going to be in English there. I'm just, like I said, I'm just having fun with it and see where it takes me. Like I always did. I always like challenges in my life, and that's a new challenge.
Can I ask you, you mentioned traveling the road, going out for nice meals in nice cities. In your NHL experience, what would you say the best and the worst cities to travel in are? If you say Winnipeg, we're not offended.
Well, Winnipeg, the only thing with Winnipeg, you know what? I played there at the end of my career, so my mindset wasn't in the same spot. So I'm like, okay, where can I get a nice, big steak, nice meal, and just relax? But on the flip side, I could see myself at 20 years old in Winnipeg. I think I would enjoy myself in Winnipeg, to be honest. But put that aside. I mean, for me, it was always the same thing. When I started in the league, you're 20 years old. You have friends that are 20, 21, 23. You're staying in Ritz-Carlton, so you're circling the dates. Okay, New York City, LA, Anaheim, Boston. It's all Phoenix. Phoenix, I would take a flight. I would go to Vegas, and I would make it back for curfew unless I was really hot at the blackjack table. But these cities are great, man. And you know what? I had a great time. With that being said, I always kept it very... I wasn't really breaking, I was still reasonable because at the end of the day, you can't play 16 years in the league if you just party. It's not that. But you still could have fun. The curfew's at 11 o'clock. There's no reason you don't take a flight at 10 a.m. in the morning after practice, spend the day in Vegas, take the flight at 9, get back at 10, take the taxi. You're still back for curfew. But, Vegas is better than being in Phoenix for a day.
What's the biggest hand of blackjack you ever won that you came home with on the road?
Well, I played some big hands. Doesn't mean I won them all, but I've had some good times, man. It was fun, and that's what I miss. I miss being with the guys, and I don't regret anything. It's not like I always put team first. If I had a big game that I know I was playing, I would never go out. I always say curfew's at 11 o'clock. Doesn't mean you can't have fun till 11 o'clock. You could be in New York City in November and December when it's Christmas time. You could find a place to have a good happy hour from 5 to 8, go for dinner, come back at 11, 5 to 11. You make it for curfew. It's better than staying in your room ordering room service. So it's all about kind of best of both worlds.
Is that where you kind of credit we'll call it your insertion into the celebrity lifestyle? Because, there's very few guys in the NHL, especially, it happens in sports, but in the NHL, for you to kind of insert yourself into that, we'll call Hollywood lifestyle. You were seen with, some pretty big stars, Leo DiCaprio and everything. Where did that, did that come to you?
Well, being in Montreal, obviously you play in Montreal, you guys know, you're from Canada. It's like, I'm from Montreal, home kid from there, played there. I won the Vezina and Hart in Montreal. So obviously, right there kind of create a big celebrity. Even the fourth line guy is a big celebrity in Montreal. So that was that. Then plus that, when I met my now wife, but back then girlfriend, her sister was one of the biggest TV star in Quebec. She has a radio show, TV show, magazine, this. So that was a big thing in Quebec. But then when you play well, you get opportunities. When I was nominated for the ESP Award in LA. So I go in LA, the ESP is always there. So there's events that occurs there. And then, I'm a big music guy. I play guitar. I love music. So then you go to see a show, you go backstage, you meet them. Next thing you know, they're like, hey, Theo, come and play a song with us on stage. So I'll go on stage because I'm like a kid. I'm like, I'll take advantage of whatever you give me. It's like, so it kind of it's not something that I was chasing. It just kind of came with, playing in Montreal and being a goalie in Montreal and just taking advantage of the perks you could get with the job.
Give me a couple. Give me a couple of those holy shit moments where you went, really? I get to go do that?
One holy shit moment was in Montreal. It was a big show in the summertime. I think 100,000 people was there. So it was a French band. I'm more like a punk rock guy because I used to skateboard, snowboard, but still that was more rock. So I went there, played a song with them, 100,000 people. I'm like, this is pretty cool. But then another thing for me that was fun is Pennywise, the famous song Bro Him that they play in Anaheim. They're playing Denver. And I actually played with NoFX, another punk band, maybe like a year before. And
You're talking
they all
my
know
language,
each other.
You're talking my language.
Okay, so there we go. So then I played with No Effects because they're hockey fans, Eric, Melvin, Pat, Mike. So I play a song with them. Then fast forward, we're in Denver. We just get kicked out by Detroit in the second round, my last year in Denver. So we're after the season, guys wants to go out, and Pennywise is doing a show. So I grab a couple of guys. Remember me, Wojtek Wolski, Paul Stastny, John Michael Lyle. They all want to go see a show. So I make a call. We get the backstage passes. The guy's like, yeah, I heard you play guitar. Come and play with us at the end. So I'm like, really? Okay, I'll fucking go play with you guys. So then they call me out. I'm playing Bro in with the guys, and just that was good. And just lucky, man. I'm blessed. Good riddance. I played with Good Riddance. I played with just things that back then you didn't have social media, so it's not really out there. But for me, in my mind, it's like this was great.
Look, man, I don't know if you've heard this one yet, but for our generation, Gen Xers, we had the best time because we had all the fun and none of the evidence.
Yeah, true that.
Although you did manage to find yourself, with the paparazzi following you on a regular basis. I mean, how did you navigate that? I mean, hockey players don't deal with that.
You're not supposed to, but I mean, I have no choice. I remember in Montreal when I got traded, I was having a shitty year. That's the year I got traded. Shitty year. And it all started with, like, usually you could feel when the media or the fans are behind you. And then I remember it was my birthday, September 13, and that's the first day of training camp. So we go at training camp and you do all the physical tests, right? The physical tests, the headshots, you go everything. But then the media were allowed. So they would follow mostly me and Saku Koivu. They would follow us around and doing the wind gate and everything. And then we're doing the headshot, and I got my jersey on, and the photographer, he's the same guy forever. And we always play games, me and him, like if he says, okay, I need a nice smile, I'm going to do like something stupid. So I was like, okay, Theo, come on, do something with your fingers. I don't like something fun for the finger with your fingers, or something with your hands, whatever he said. I don't know, but I just went like that. And that's really the time frame I did it. Like, okay, Theo, stop kidding around. Do something fun for, not for the fans, but do something, whatever he says. I go like this for 1 second. I go like this. Boom. That's all. I went like this, but laughing, like, all good. I go home at night, 5 o'clock. I'm getting calls. What the fuck? They're like, yeah, some media, they're spinning it like that's a message you're sending to the fans. So I'm like, what? I couldn't believe. So then I would have media coming over. So what you have a message for the fans? So then I remember that's the year I got traded. But right there, that's at training camp. I told my wife, I'm like, I don't like the vibe. I mean, this is not right. I mean, people know me. I'm joking. So this is not the right vibe. And then fast forward, I fractured my heel. I fractured my heel in February during the Olympic break. And then media, all kind of rumors. He's not really hurt. Canadians are trying to put him aside because he doesn't have confidence, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of, so they had media hiding in my bushes beside my house to make sure that I was really hurt. They thought that I would walk out of my house like nothing happened, sprinting. So they see me with the crutches. So they were filming that. So it came to a point like it was like, really, like you're thinking, I don't want to play the game. It's a game. I mean, we play hockey. We don't work hockey. We play hockey. You're thinking I'm going to fake an injury or the team's going to try to protect me. I'm making $6 million. I'm the highest paid guy. I wanted to play. I was hurt. So all that fast forward, and that's when I kind of got traded. It was just getting out of hand in Montreal.
There was a lot of people that drew parallels between you moving from Montreal to Denver, the former Quebec Nordiques, the same thing that Patrick Waugh did. Did he have any influence in that decision at all?
Yes and no. I don't think Patrick had, but Pierre Lacroix. Pierre was a good friend of mine. I would play golf with him in the summer with René Angela, which is Celine Dion's husband back then. We'd go to Vegas. We would have big money games. You're talking about gambling. I had some crazy money game with René Angela and Pierre Lacroix. And they were tough, man. They were tough. But so I was in Montreal. All that was good. And then when things weren't going well for me, Patrick was done. It was David Abisher in Colorado. And they wanted, I guess, a guy with more experience. So I know that René Angelil and Pierre Lacroix did a big thing. They're like, okay, we're going to try to make a trade. It's time to do it. Because don't forget, I was hurt, and I was in like March, and I was only coming back maybe if I pushed it, which I did, 5 days or 1 week before the playoffs start. So they traded me when I was hurt, making big money. I had a big ticket. So they traded for me. So I'm not saying Patrick had anything to do, but Pierre Lacroix obviously had a big saying in that. And it was a good timing. And I was super happy when I went there. To be honest, I would have loved to finish my career in Montreal. But I mean, you look around, except for Carey Price and a few people in Montreal, name me a guy that played 15 years in Montreal. You don't have anybody, pretty much. So
I want to come back to the Patrick Waugh stuff in a second, but if we can go back to the media hiding in your bushes at your garage, at your house, do you remember the first time there was like a member of the media or the paparazzi that found out your address, they're at your home, and you're like, oh shit, like these guys are for real, like they're literally in my private property?
That was actually the first time. Before that, okay, they would film me. If I would go do a TV show at night or an appearance, they would show up their film and ask me questions, whatever. But that was the first time. But the funny thing is, these guys are stupid. They didn't know. I had like 22 cameras in my house. So after that, when that came out, I just went back and I would see all these clowns hiding, trying to make sure I don't see them. And I could have leaked that to the media. I could have said, look, this is not right. I could have leaked that. But you know what? I'm like, I'm not going to make a bigger deal out of it. I'm just going to brush it off. It's part of the game. I always kind of roll with punches where it is what it is. I'm always doing my best. I want to get better every day, and the rest of it can't control it.
Like, how do you separate that part, like with the media? Because, I mean, it's obviously easier to say in 2025, but back in 2005, like the idea of maybe like the media being as big as scumbags, keep in mind, like I was only like 9 years old at the time. So the idea of like...
I wasn't.
I know, you were an adult, you were both adults, I was still just a kid. Like the idea of like the media being scumbags and like trying to spin things, I don't know if that was anywhere near as prevalent as it was today, but like how do you manage that, and how are you dealing with that and still being a professional and playing your game as one of the best goaltenders in the world at the time?
I always approach it, like you say, for me, I approach it like a game until it crossed the line. I mean, when you have people hiding and then they're saying false rumor about you, that kind of pissed me off. So, because I always approach it like, you know what, I grew up in Montreal. I know the market. I grew up watching Patrick, all these guys. It was my turn. It was all good. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's a game. And back then, we didn't have social media. I would have loved to have social media where I could go and say my point of view. If somebody says, oh, you were shitty, that was a bad goal, or this or that, whatever it is, you could go and say, no, wait. But back then, what you did is, because we had all the French medias and the English medias, that means double the medias, right? So I would grab like it was like a checker game. I would have like 4 or 5 medias that were tight. I would give them scoops, a little bit of scoop, this, and then I knew they would get my back, but then that would get other people upset. So it was just it was getting complicated. So I was at the time, I'm like, okay, now, I just want to play the game, get me traded, get me some. I didn't ask for a trade, by the way, because I really thought that I could come back from the injury, turn things around, make the playoffs, win the fucking MVP, and we win the cup. That was my thought process. But looking back, it was just time that I kind of change atmosphere, if you want to say.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because there's always been that stigma of, Montreal looks for French players because of that French and English media. And to my recollection, I can't remember another starting French goaltender that had the tenure you had in Montreal. That's got to come with some extra pressure on top of, like you said, hometown guy, constantly being hounded by friends and family and everybody else. When you eventually made that switch over to Denver, was it a sigh of relief, or did you miss all that?
A little bit of both, in a way that, again, I grew up in Montreal. I grew up 20 minutes from the Forum. We had season tickets. So I was there when Montreal won the cup in 93. I was right there. I didn't flip the cars over, part of the riot, but I saw everything going on because I was there. So for me, it was just normal. You play for the Montreal Canadiens, you're a goalie, you get the pressure, and you just deal with it. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to have that pressure, because I always said, for me, pressure, it's a privilege. If you're the fucking backup and you're sitting on the bench, you have no pressure, but it's not a privilege. If you're out there game 7 in Montreal, that's what I wanted. That's a privilege. So I always liked the pressure. But when I felt it was getting out of hand, like I said, I'm hurt. People think I'm not hurt. I joke around with the photographer. They think I'm sending a message to the fans. I'm like, okay, this is not fun anymore. So yes, when I went to Denver, it was like, oh, this is easy. I mean, okay, now there's no distraction and everything. But on the flip side, it took me 1 year to adapt myself because I needed that pressure to be at the best I could be. And maybe when I got traded, I didn't feel I had that pressure because you don't have all the exteriors. So it took me a while to say, okay, now you got to find something to push you to be the best. So it took me a little bit of a while, like a period of time. But for me, I always say Montreal brought the best out of me, and I'm always going to say it. I mean, I had, like you said, 9-10 years. I had 8 years that I had the key to the city. 1 year that I was getting booed and it was awful. But I mean, it was still all worth it because we're still playing a game.
Well, we're still on the Montreal topic. What's the best place to eat, your favorite spot in Montreal to this day?
It depends what kind of night you want. If you only want food, just food, no atmosphere, I have to say Milos. Milos, like it's a Greek place. It's expensive, but that's the best place. Back in the day, you had a lot of places to go out where the food was but the crowd was good. So it all depends what you wanted.
Okay, since we're on the topic, we ask everybody this question. Your first big NHL paycheck, what do you do with it?
I didn't do much, to be honest. No, it's not true. When I signed my first signing bonus, I bought myself a Porsche. So that's pretty big. But yeah, but I bought the Porsche, not the big Porsche. I bought the Boxster Porsche. Looking back, I'm like, it's either you buy the 911 or you don't. But anyway, I bought the Boxster. I was 20 years old. So that was a big expense. But after that, I didn't really spend. When I made the team and I was on a one-way ticket, I bought myself a nice watch. And now, since then, I've been collecting watches. But I was trying to always be careful because I was always pretty business savvy and wanted to invest real estates. So I was always on top of my finances and I did great investment. And that's why right now I was away at the game just because I was really busy with other of my ventures. And, I got a ton of businesses and investments that's doing good. So I'm just keeping busy. But now I kind of miss the game. So I'm going back talking about it from the outside.
Well, how much golf are you getting in now that you're on a golf course?
Not that much, to be honest. Not that much, because that's it up in Montreal. And unfortunately, I only go up in the summertime, maybe 2-3 weeks. So I don't go as much as I would like to go. Here we have a great course. And there's like before Marco Sturm was the head coach in Boston. Within 10 minutes driving, there's like Blake Wheeler lives here, Jovanovski. We have Marty Havlat, Thomas Vokoun, Thomas Fleischman, Jokinen, Marco Sturm used to be there. And the kids all go to the same school. So it's fun that you have so many guys here that you just could hang out and go play golf here with them. And it's the best of both worlds.
Let me give you an excuse. My dad lives 45 minutes outside of Montreal. He's in Cornwall. I'll go visit him. We'll go play next summer. Okay?
That's good. It's on me.
Okay.
I know the owner.
Can I come too?
No, you don't want him. You don't want him on a golf course.
No?
Listen, man, I try real hard. I'm good positive energy. I'm good for the morale, but I'm not very good. I'm very passionate, but I'm just not very good. I'm trying to be better, though.
It's not being good. It's all about winning your bets. I always say I don't like golf. It's just another excuse for me to gamble and to have the pressure. I always say the same thing. It's true. I like the game, but if there's no money on the game, I don't want to play because I'm not going to be on the tour, even though I was lucky to play. That's other highlights. We're talking music. I played a round with Rory McIlroy. I played 2 rounds with Ricky Fowler. For me, I'm just taking advantage of being able to meet these guys. Jack Nicklaus. It's not about. I'm like a little kid. I'm a guy from Montreal, South Shore, and I'm like, I could play golf with you. You really? Okay, let's do it. So just having fun.
Speaking of gambling, I feel like from doing the deep dive that I did this afternoon to try to really get an understanding of you, because a month ago, like welcome to the 21st century, there was no social media, really no media of anything of you. I feel like one thing that I picked up on is you seem like a very unplugged kind of guy, and I have to ask on the gambling note of things, like do you have Bitcoin? You seem like a Bitcoin kind of guy.
I don't have Bitcoin, but I do have a lot of gold. I bet more in gold than Bitcoin. Just because Bitcoin, because you're a younger guy, you could see we're older, he's younger. For me, Bitcoin, I still don't understand it enough to risk my money. Because me, I'm like I'm not a control freak, but when I start something, it's like I got to know everything about it. Like if I have a passion, just like we're probably going to talk aviation, passion for this, investing, I got to understand it. And Bitcoin, for me, I still don't understand it enough, all these crypto and the meme coin to put my money. But you're talking about investing in gold, stock market, different companies, leveraging your money to buy real estate, different story. But it's just because I'm maybe a little bit older that I don't understand it enough. But I should have, but
Well, you got
I
real
didn't do
estate,
it.
and I mean, gold and Bitcoin are the top two best performing assets in history, and you got one of them. So, right?
It's good. That's right. Yeah, no, but it's fun things. But Bitcoin, like I said, I just don't understand it. I need to understand the game. Just like when I played the game, I would study the game. Like people think, okay, yeah, I did have fun off the ice, but always within the limits. But I mean, don't get me. I've been putting the work since I'm freaking 5 years old. Where I was doing hockey school with Trichak in the summertime. Let's left Trichak, and I was very, very disciplined, and for me, it was only one way. I always had my path set up. It was NHL, Team Canada at World Juniors. I had my setup, so I was still very dedicated. I play the game sometimes like, okay, maybe, okay, I like to have fun, yes, but at the end of the day, I had one goal, was always to, play well and don't let my teammates down. And that's why right now I have so many good friends in the game, because I was always a good team guy.
I'm glad you brought up aviation. My eldest boy is 14 years old and he's a third-year cadet. Looking forward to getting his pilot license one day. Have you got any advice for him?
Man, it's a great hobby. It's for me it brings everything hockey did. Meaning that when I know I'm flying my wife and my two daughters back to Montreal, that's pressure. Yeah, I got to prepare the day before. I look at the weather. I look at the plates. I look at what altitude I'm going to go for the winds. Where am I going to stop if I need fuel? So you prepare yourself. So I really approach it like it's a game 7. And when you're up there, if I make a mistake, it could cost all of our lives. I mean, that's pressure. But I like that. And because I did my instrument rating, meaning I could fly in bad weather and IFR meaning instrument flight condition. So I could fly because I just like the pressure, the challenge. And then when I land and everybody's good and it was a good flight, I feel it's mission accomplished. For me, that's fun. That's what I like.
Do you own your own machinery or are you renting?
No, I own my own plane. That was a goal of mine. Yeah, I said I'm going to do everything, all my classification, my private pilot, my instrument, my multi-engine, commercial. And once I do that, I want to fly my family. So I knew which kind of plane I want, even though now it's for sale because I want to upgrade, because I always need to set up higher goals, something better, faster. But I own my plane and I really like it. Like, for instance, this morning, went and pick up my daughter and her friend. They were up in Tallahassee for Halloween and to go see the football game, FSU. So I went there, flew this morning, picked them up, came back. Instead of them driving 6 hours, it's an hour and a half flight and I'm flying them. So for me, that's just brings me a lot of joy and accomplishment.
Do me a favor, put a nice paint job on your plane like you did on your helmet.
I don't know. It's pretty chipped. My helmet's pretty chipped. I don't know if it's a good paint job, but all right.
You say you're trying to sell your plane right now, an upgrade?
That's how I go. I always have goals, man. You have to set always goals. If not, you just get bladed. I just like to push myself, and we'll see.
For anybody looking to buy a new plane, this guy's got one for you. Hit him up.
Great deal. Trust me.
What kind of machinery you got? What are you selling?
It's a Beechcraft Bonanza G36.
It's a nice whip.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a nice plane. It's a nice plane, but now you got to go. Now I want to go turboprop pressurized, so I could go higher and faster. But it's really a good rush. Like I said, being a goalie, we're out there, man. The pressure's on us. I like to have the pressure. I like to do something that I feel not everybody could do. That's pretty much the way it is. I was like that as a kid. If somebody says you can't jump from the roof in the pool, I would do it just to do something that I feel not everyone could do, even though everybody could do it. But not everybody will do it. Same thing. Like, I mean, not everybody goes up and fly a plane when you're in the clouds and it's bumpy or this. And I just put the work in. When you put the work in, you got the results. So,
Well, again, let me give you credit because I've said this numerous times before, and especially on my radio show. I feel like our generation is aging a little bit better than the boomers, where we're still, we're not looking forward to 55 and being retired anymore. We're looking for new things, and here you are in your 49th year of life, and you're looking to upgrade your plane, and you're still excited about doing all these things. I give you a lot of credit, man. And you're aging extremely well.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Florida is good for the skin. Gives you a good tan. But it's all about same thing in business. People are like, oh yeah, what do you do since you retire? You're too young. I'm like, settle down. I retired from hockey, but again, in my competitive mind, I'm trying to make as much money after my career than when I played hockey. That's my goal. So I do real estate. I meet with the right people. I'm taking smart gambles in a way, if you want. But I mean, not like it's like if I'm just retired. I'm retired from hockey, but I'm still involved in a lot of things, and that's just part of it. And
do you feel
so I am.
Do you feel there was a little bit of luck involved though? Because there was a couple times where, I mean, I know this is the media painting the picture, but there was a few times where it seemed like Jose Theodore was making a turn to the left a little bit as far as some of his decisions. Do you feel like he kind of got lucky and straightened out the path a little bit?
It's pretty easy. Hockey, there's no cheating. If you do your job and you stop as a goalie, if you stop the puck, you're gonna play. And there's no luck. Like, again, I'm not saying that zero pretentious, zero. But when you're able to play almost like pretty much, there's a lockout, but 16 years in the league, you could be lucky for a couple of years. But if you play 16 years, it's no luck. It's because you're there. And out of the 16 years, maybe 13 or 12 years, I was number one goalie. So I feel the other way around. I feel I was unlucky, to be honest, if I'm being straight honest. Because when you look at my last year in Washington, I go after Christmas, I think from December 26th or January 2nd, whatever. I go 20-0-3 or something like that. Like, that's 23 games undefeated in regular time, 20-0-3. And then in the playoffs, Boudreau, which Bruce is Bruce. He's one of the coaches. We didn't get along well. I think we just didn't get along well. He didn't, whatever it is, it happens. That was the only guy I could say that. He sat me after one game in the playoff. He sat me in the bench. Then my contract's up. Think about it. I go 20-0-3. I can't find a job. My agent calls me in September. When the camp's gone, I go to Minnesota because Harding got hurt and he's out for the season. So they needed a goalie that could play. They called me. So I had no job going. My season, I finished 30 wins, 7 losses. You could paint that the way you want. I'm not asking for 5, whatever. So lucky, but on that side, I still don't understand to this day how come that was that long. Then I go to Minnesota. I had a good year for being a backup and helping Barstrom. Then I go Florida. Then the next year, figure it out. That's the NHL. The next year after Minnesota, I played like 36 games as a number 1B or playing at the end. I got 5 offers. I get calls everywhere. Tampa, Detroit, Florida, Colorado. So I'm like, the year before, I had no call with 30 wins, 7 losses and this. And now I'm getting 5 calls. So it depends how you see it. I see it like, it could have been better.
Did you ever have a conversation with Bruce about that? Because I do resonate with that a little bit, where maybe like you're playing well and the coach just doesn't want to give you the fair shake, or maybe there's something he's not seeing. Or maybe, I don't know where the truth lies on that one. I want to hear it from your mouth, but what was that process like from your shoes?
You know what? It just started on the wrong foot, I guess. I signed there as the number one goalie, obviously. And my first year there, like, I wasn't as consistent as I could have done, but I was still playing pretty well. We were winning games. And I just felt like he had a mentality. And you see it. That just is his coaching style. And again, he's done some great things. I'm not there to say I'm right, he's wrong. It's not that. But look at what he's done when he went to Anaheim. They go in the playoff that one year. They had 4 different starting goalies in the first round of the playoff. Ehler, I don't remember all the guys, but 4. Then he goes to Minnesota, same thing. So I feel like he didn't understand the goalie position, where I could be down 2-0 in the series, let's say. I'm still going to come back and play well. I need to be your guy. I did it in Montreal. We're down 3-1 against Boston. We come back and win. But you can't start playing. You're not at the casino there like, oh, I think tonight this guy's going to play well. Oh, I think tonight. You got to just say, listen, this is my guy. And that's where me and Bruce didn't really work out. But he still played me. I was both years. I was his number one guy. And as a team, we still finished third overall and first overall. I mean, we did good. But I just felt in the playoff, he could have stuck with me a little bit longer and say, you know, if we lose, I'm going to lose with my veteran guy. And he started to play musical chair, and it didn't pay off, obviously, for him.
Did you ever talk to him about that, or that was just okay, I'm not playing, I'm just going to sit down and do my job?
No, I didn't play because at the end of my second year at the meetings, I was pissed off. But I'm like, you know what? I like the city. We have a good team. I said, I'm not going to be a bad teammate and start giving at him. I said, maybe they're going to re-sign me to say, you know what? We're going to play you and because Varlamov was coming up. So I didn't say what I wanted to say. But on the flip side, I'm going to tell you a quick story with Bruce that I kind of went head-to-head with him all the time. During the season, that's my last year. I think it was Michael Nervert. He was playing in Tampa. It was a back-to-back game. He was playing in Tampa. I was playing in Florida the next day. It was back-to-back, so it was set in stone. He played the first game. He played well. We won. So the next game in Florida, he's not putting me in the net. So I'm freaking pissed off. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like that was my game. So game start, 10 minutes into the game, we're down 3-0. So I'm on the bench. We're down 3-0. Bruce he's yelling, Theo. I'm not even looking at him. I'm like deaf. Theo, not turning. Theo. So then I look like sideways like this. Get in the net. So then I'm taking my time. And then I took my equipment. I'm looking at him. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me right now. I told him that. Went into the game, but then I put pressure on myself. Went to the game. Best thing. That's one of my best games, like not stats-wise or whatever, but we're down 3-0. We end up winning 4-3 in shootouts. So after the game, all the guys, so we're giving high five, and Bruce is there waiting, high five. So I get my trainer, it's the players. I come to Bruce, and I just wait till he puts it up. He goes like this. I just put it down. So again, timeout. I don't recommend that to any young goalies. It's not the right thing because you're building. It's not the right thing, but it was just my style. So I don't recommend it. It wasn't the right thing to do. But I'm just saying I never told him straight on, but we kind of knew, and it is what it is. But I mean, I would see Bruce. I have no problem with him. I mean, I have no grudge. Just it happens. It happened.
Who did you enjoy playing for as far as a bench boss, and who did you really enjoy playing with as a teammate, not only as far as the camaraderie, but as far as a guy on the ice?
You know what? I'm pretty easygoing, man. As a coach, if you play me, I'm going to like you. Pretty simple. And, you know, as a goalie, you can't cheat. If you're not good, you're just not going to play. If the other guy's better than you, he should play. I mean, I shouldn't play. I don't want to play a game that I don't deserve. I got to play a game that I'm supposed to play. And then you want to make sure for your teammates. For me, all the guys, I always, you know, I've seen so many goalies being messed up with their routine and the way they were prepared themselves. And then as they're back, if you don't play the game, you would see the teammates come up to me and say, oh, I'm not going to name names, but like, oh, hey, that goalie, he seems stressed out. He's doing that. You can't talk to him. You can't touch his equipment. So I would see how the guys would react. So I'm like, I'm going to be the other way. I'm going to be super laid back. I'm going to take care of my business, but I'm going to be laid back to show my teammates that I'm there and I'm not rattled. I'm going to perform. And that's the way I approach games. So for me, it was always like, play the game, play well. And then when you go out for dinner or you go out, I want to be with the guys. I don't want to be by myself. I'm going to be a team guy, going to go out, going to have a great time. You know, PH square, man. PH square. Well, you know what that is? PH square.
Well, those years that you...
Party hard, play harder.
Those years that you talked about where you came in to, help out Markstrom, did you realize that there was a moment where you kind of went, okay, I'm here to kind of help the younger guys now? When did that happen?
I wanted to be a good teammate. Like, I'm very, very competitive. I want to play every game. I want to, I want to be the guy. But on the flip side, if I'm not the guy, I'm not gonna be a bad apple in the room. I'm gonna help everyone. Being older, same thing. So that being said, I gotta say that I learned I learned that pretty early from, I'm going to go back to my Montreal days, and that's important. Jeff Hackett. I played with Jeff Hackett in Montreal, right? Came here. We were always fighting for the job because I want to be number one. I'm like 22, 23, the number one guy. But we always had a great relationship, even though we're opposite. He's super like quiet guy, we're just opposite personality. But I always felt he wanted to help me out, even if we were in the competition. And that being said, I'm going to tell you a story. When I played with him and I won the Vezina and the Hart, he got hurt earlier in the season. We were kind of fighting, me and him, for the job. He got hurt. I ended up going on a good run. So I won the Hart Vezina. The following year, we start. Now I'm number one goalie. He wants to get traded. He gets traded. But he always really helped me. When he was number one and I was behind him, he helped me out. Then fast forward, I get traded to Denver. When I go to Denver, there's no goalie coach there. And in Montreal, we had, for me, the best goalie coach, Rolly Melanson. For me, that was like, he was my guy. Just like when you see, I don't know, Mike Tyson with Angelo Dudley, like he would push me. He was. So then I get traded. There's no goalie coach. So when I get traded, like I said, I was hurt. I finished the season. We still beat Dallas in the playoffs, which was a good thing. The following year, I had a shitty year, no goalie coach. And I had problems, like my daughter was sick at home, so I had my distraction, but I never brought it up because I got to deal with it. But no goalie coach, so I didn't find my rhythm. I would like to go 30 minutes before practice, get my drills on, stay. Like I was a hardworking guy, but I had no goalie coach. So what I did, a little bit like Rocky when freaking Apollo Creed coach Rocky, I called Jeff Hackett. I'm like, Hack, I need you, man. Let's go. You want to be a coach in Denver? He's like, yeah, well, he came back and we worked together. I had that year was a bad year. When he came towards the end, I had a bad year, but we worked. And my last year in Denver, I had one of the best, not my best, but a really solid season because I brought Jeff back and Jeff was there and he knew my game because we learned from the same guy. So he brought him back and he pushed me. So again, when I saw it, I'm like, I want to be the same way to guys. Even though I'm fighting for the job, I don't want Markstrom to play. I don't want nobody to play. I want to play. But if I don't play, I'm still going to help him because at the end of the day, what does it tell if I'm not that kind of guy, man. I'm just a team guy. I want to help. And may the best man play. It is what it is. Usually when I play at my best level, I would be the number one guy. But if I don't deserve to play, if I could help a young guy like Markstrom or Varlamov, same thing. Varlamov, when I left Washington, was with Varlamov, and I signed with, I went with Minnesota. But then after that, when Florida called me, I wanted to come here because I knew I would be number one goalie here. But then in Colorado, they called me like quarter to July 1st, quarter to noon. I remember Eric Lacroix, Pierre Lacroix's son, calls me and said, Jose, not supposed to call before noon, but he did call me before noon. He's like, Jose, yeah, we got Varlamov, would like to sign you to come. You played with him. You could help him mentoring and, just help him in the right direction. And I told him, I said, I would like to, but I said, I got a number one gig in Florida. In Florida, I knew I was at the end of my career, and that's a good place to play. And then that's when when I didn't sign, I said no to Colorado. That's when they signed G.S. Giguère to go help Varlamov. So if you could help somebody, why not do it? I mean, at the end of the day, it's all going to come back to you as you're a good guy. And like I said, whoever is the best guy is going to play. If Markstrom deserved to play all the games because I play. But usually, like, if you look at my career, I was number one goalie like 85% of the time. But if I didn't deserve to play, okay, I'm still going to be your friend, and I'm still going to try to help you out.
And that was 2007, 2008. You guys beat Minnesota and then lost to Detroit. That's when Hackett came in?
Yeah. That year, the year before, I brought him in when I was struggling. The year before we beat Minnesota, I brought him in. I think after Christmas, and then that year finished. I worked really hard with him, but it didn't finish the way it is. But I knew I was building something good. And then the following year, I knew I said, okay, that year it's gonna it's going to turn around because I knew I still had the game. And then I remember when we started the camp, I freaking needed surgery for my knee. That was a big, big, big bummer because I was ready to come back and bounce back. I'm still making big, big dollars. So I got surgery for my knee. And I remember I had a meeting with Jeff Hackett, and I'm like, I gotta come back hard. And then for the first month and a half, we had Joel Kenville as a coach, and he was kind of doing like that bullshit thing where, okay, 1-1, you play one, he plays one, and then if you win, you stay in. But then I would lose a game 1-0, wasn't playing the other game, the guy would win 5-4. So early November, and that's the thing that was just me. Early November, I went in his office. I'm like, listen, Coach Q, enough with your bullshit. Last year, I didn't have a good season. Now my game is there, but I got to play. I said, maybe my 10-game winning streak is starting now, but you can't go back and forth. I want to play. And then it kind of resonated with him because I got to give him credit. He saw where I was coming from, and I ended up playing, I think, 40 of the last 45 games of the season, and we beat Minnesota in the playoffs. Then we lost to Detroit. So sometimes you just got to step up and just, go out there and, put pressure on yourself and say, I'm going to be your guy, but you got to trust me. And then you just got to deliver.
Before I get into my laundry list of questions, can you please retell the story of you telling the Montreal general manager how it's going to be you want X amount of dollars, and if not, I'm going to walk, and they folded like a wet paper bag?
That's a good story. That's my gambler side, I guess. So, long story short, after the Hart and Vezina, I signed a 3-year deal. It's the biggest contract back then, which is not like today's dollar, but back then it was the biggest contract for the team. That contract comes up because it's a lockout year, right? So lockout year, I go play in Sweden for after the season. My contract's up. So then everybody's messed up because there's a 24% rollback. So the qualifying offer is not the same, blah, blah, blah. And they don't know the terms. Like it's the first time there's a lockout with a salary cap. Long story short, I told my agent, okay, we're going to get a 3-year deal for sure, roughly similar to what I got before, which before I signed was a 3-year deal, 16.5 for 3 years. That was like a big contract for back 2003. Then the contract was up, but they're coming with, we're going to qualify you at 4.5 for 1 year, but if you want 3 years, we're going to give you $4 million a year. I'm like, what the fuck? And that year we beat Boston, went to the All-Star game. So it's not like if I had a bad year. The other way I was in the top. I went we beat Boston in Game 7. I went to the All-Star game. I won the gold medal for with the World Cup with Brodeur and Luongo. So I was right up there. So I don't get it. So all that to say, it keeps dragging. July 1st comes, then boom, training camp starts. They don't want to give me the contract. They want to give me 1 year my qualifying. So my agent, that's like 3 days before the opening of the camp. My agent, Donnie Meehan, sends me the fax. He's like, they're going to give you 1 year, 4.5, which is, I was making 6 the year before, but with the 24% rollback, that 6 became 4.5. I'm like, you know what? I'll sign 4.5 for 1 year. I'll have a good year, and I'll go free agent somewhere else. That was my thought process because I was pissed. So I signed the contract for 1 year. They tried to bluff me. I signed the contract, send him back. And Bob Gainey was the GM back then. And I have no problem with Bob. Signed the contract. I think, okay, I tell my wife, I'm like, okay, 1 year, 4.5. I mean, let's just put the working boots back on. So 2 hours after, my agent called me, said, we got them where we wanted. They moved up to 3 years, 15.250. I remember like yesterday, 15.250 for 3 years. So my agent thinks it's a done deal. But I'm so pissed off that they dragged me all the way. So it was like 15, so whatever that comes out. But I'm like, Donnie, no, it doesn't make sense. I said, I had 16.5. I said, I need a round number. Call them back, say 16 million for 3 years. Then my agent, he's like, Theo, what are you talking about? You're leaving 15.250 on the table. I mean, it's pretty much what we wanted. He said, you're willing. He told, these are the words. He said, you want to risk 750 over 3 years to lose that deal? He said, you really want to take that chance? Right away, I answered. I said, it's not my decision. call them and ask them if they're willing to risk $750 to lose for 3 years. Not my decision. Tell them it's 16. If they want to lose me, forget. That's fine. He called back, said his words. I remember like yesterday. I was like 25. He said, "You have balls like an elephant." No, you have balls of steels. That's what he said exactly. I'm like, well, call them. I said, why would I take the decision to say, oh, I don't want to lose? Tell them they're going to lose. Call me back 30 seconds after. He said, okay, we got a deal, 16 for 3 years. I'm like, well, there we go. So that $750 paid for my plane. There we go. Thanks.
I'm getting shades of Slapshot. No, call Detroit. Tell them bullshit.
Yeah, tell them. Trade me right. No. But it just I get too emotional in situations. Same thing why I left Denver. I should have stayed in Denver. When I went to Washington, Denver was offering me a 3-year deal because I came off a strong year. But I'm like, listen, your contract makes no sense. I'm willing to take less. I know I could get more in the free agency. I'll take less, but you got to be there. They didn't want to reach that mill, and I was right because I was asking for $4 a year for 3 years, and I went to Washington. I got 4.5, so I knew it, but I was willing to take less. But there's always a limit. But looking back, should have stayed in Denver, but because I had Jeff Hackett, Tony Granato was the head coach, who was a buddy of mine, and obviously I went to Washington thinking we're going to win a cup, which we could have because we had a good team. But you make some good calls, some bad calls. That was a bad call.
Did you ever get a signing bonus or a bonus for winning the Hart and the Vezina?
Oh, a lot of bonuses.
How much?
A lot of bonuses because that's another thing. Another thing I hold up because contract. I won the Vezina and Hart when I was playing my 25 years old. Like I was 25, right? So after 23 years old, played a full year. I had a good year. Like I played 30 games, but like 5 shutouts. I almost won the Roger Crosser, like good stats, right? So my contract's up. And they didn't want to give me, again, the contract I wanted, which my agent, and I wasn't being greedy. I was willing to take 2 years, I was going to take 1.2 and 1.3 with no bonuses for 2 years. They didn't want that. So my agent says, okay, that's when he did a great job. He says, finally, at the end of the day, listen to this one, I still hold up for cap. I had no arbitration right. I was 23. They could have left me home. I wasn't even the number one, but I just hold out. I didn't go to camp. Just again, being cocky or overconfident, call it the way you want. Didn't show up to camp. So people were putting pressure. You got to bring Theo back, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't want to give me my 1.2. So I got 1.150 and I got 1 million or 170, whatever, and 1.1. But crazy bonuses on the back end where my bonuses would roll over into the salary as the following year. So I end up signing that after I missed all training camp. And that year I made $1 million, but I had 800,000 in bonuses. That's before the Hart and the Vezina. So the following year, I was willing to take 1.3 straight up. But the following year, because of my bonuses was roll over, I started the season at 1.750, which is the year I won my Hart and Vezina. But I did myself a nice graph with all my bonuses. 20 wins, 50,000. 25 wins, another 70. First off, I had everything. And then I was playing all the games because Jeff Hackett got hurt. So every time I'm like, okay, if I get 2 more wins, click. And then the Vezina and the Hart, it was half a million for each major award. So do the math. But again, that's not me. That's my agent did a great job because then I was like first or second All-Star game. That was, I think, 250. Then the Vezina and the Hart, 500 each, plus what I got during the season. But all that to say, I would have signed 1.2 and 1.3 with no bonuses. They didn't want to give it to me. I signed for less, but my agent just loaded on the bonuses, and it turned out that, like, they probably said, okay, he's not going to win the freaking Vezina Hart. He's barely a number one goalie. That's what they thought, but it turned out to be good timing. And then I won the Hart and Vezina, and my contract was up. So then I was like,
hey, man, you earned it.
Oh, just good timing. That was when I agree with you. That I was lucky. That was luck. Good timing. That was good timing.
How much did you lose in
Fun
taxes?
times.
How much did you lose in taxes on that one?
56% usually.
Oh, it's like 52 right off the bat of your salary. But then again, your agent goes on top of that. That's not tax deductible. Everything you spend up in Quebec anyway, like the tax sales tax. You buy like a suit, it's 16% tax. So when you do the math, it's like you're getting taxed pretty big. That's why I always say, like, people are like, oh, Lane Hudson, oh, he did a big pay cut. Settle down. He's based in the U.S. His withholding tax is 15%. He gets the money up front with the bonuses. He could reinvest it. It's a good contract for both. But I mean, he didn't leave that much money on the table. That's what I'm saying. And it's great. It's a great deal for Montreal, salary-wise, but Lane Hudson did not sign for $8 million a year. When you do the math, if you do the proper math and the deduction, and because he's U.S. citizen, he's still making the same money as a guy that makes $9 million somewhere else, 9.2. But it's perfect. Just got to know your stuff.
Yeah, you learn that once you move to Florida.
That's why I live here.
Yeah.
Good weather, no state tax, right?
That's right.
State tax,
and
a lot of deduction.
But federal taxes,
your agent is tax deduction, the interest if you have a mortgage, there's a lot of deduction. So it's a big plus, obviously, for players to come here. Even though I'm not saying you come here just because of that, you want to play somewhere where you're wanted, but it's a big advantage, that's for sure.
Do you mind if we get a little bit personal with you towards the? I know we burned almost like 90 minutes of your time, but this is
no go.
So I don't know how in depth you went into the podcast since you rejoined social media, but we had this high net worth NHL professional athlete divorce lawyer on the show this summer. And this dude, Ido Walney is his name. He's based out of Wisconsin. And he was spitting game for like an hour and a half about the divorce rates, about what contributes to them and guys not having a purpose, and how, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, 70% of all NHL players that get married will be divorced. And the majority of those, they pull the pin within 365 days. The woman does from the man. And it was interesting because basically like clockwork, when we posted that interview, everyone after that, with the exception of one player, every single guy said almost like within a year, their wife pulled the pin, they're gone.
Yeah, you beat the odds, man.
And you've been with your same wife for how many years?
Okay, I met my wife, I was 21 years old.
That would have been...
Again,
21, and
man.
then we had our first daughter when I was 30. Then I have 2 daughters right now, but and you know what? Like I say, I don't like to change my equipment. I like my stuff original. Same thing. I'm just like this. But again, for me, to be honest, I don't like failing. And if I would have a failed marriage, which it happened, listen, I'm not saying it happens sometimes for the best, but for me, that would be a failure. You know, I have kids, my wife, for me, I'm very proud that I'm still with her. I mean, we didn't always have it easy. Obviously, I'm not an easy guy to be with. I'm going to be honest about that. But it's just about like us making the right choices. And like I say, you know, I really think that if you don't have the right partner, I wouldn't have the same career, because you need somebody at home that's going to keep you grounded and could tell you to come back to earth, or, you know, your head's getting too big, bring it back. And you need somebody to, but I mean, you're absolutely right. All my friends, I could name you 20 guys. All my friends that are around my age, all divorced. I'm not going to name them out of respect for them, but I could tell you all my good friends in Florida, Montreal, all divorced. So it does happen. But again, it's all about planning your future, that you don't downgrade your lifestyle, and you're able to have another goal. You don't, I don't know, but you're absolutely right. It's something that didn't really scare me because I knew I was at the right place. But it's a challenge. It's a big transition.
Does that not sound almost exactly word for word what Dale Weiss said? He had his purpose. It was right away. Nothing changed, and just kept going even when he was done hockey. Like almost word for word, the exact same thing. And Dale Weiss is the only one we've had in the show that basically hasn't been divorced. Every single other one has. I
know. And you know what? Business move. That's the worst business move you could do. Be getting divorced. So well, I mean, it's just but it's thing you no, but I'm saying that, but I'm being honest. Like when you get in the show, you're making money. You're 22, 23, 24. know what's going to happen. If you get married at 22, 23, all for you, but know the purpose that if you play from 23 to 33 and you have no prenup and you're not prepared, whatever it is, then you're done. You can't go back. We're not like musician that's going to say, oh, I'm going to do a farewell tour to make money. When you're done, you're done. I would love to say, oh, I'm going to put the pads back
Or just
and
one.
go. You're
just one
done,
pad.
man.
Just one pad.
No, but you're yeah, that one pad. But yeah, that's usually somebody that gets divorced that needs to give the other one. I didn't get divorced. I just don't know where the other one is.
Oh man. So, okay, the reason I've been trying to ask this question is personally, obviously Dave's married, has kids, happily married, everything's been going strong. I do feel Dave is the exception to a lot of the rules of modern dating, and I turned 29 recently, single, aspiring to be a father and have a family. I get it, the modern day dating game has changed, and the modern woman is maybe a lot different than what you dealt with and what Dave dealt with, but sitting here, I know it's going to be a lot easier to learn from the men that have maybe made mistakes than making them myself. Floor is yours. I am ears wide open. What advice would you give me? What has made your marriage work? And what do you think I should keep in mind to maybe not end up in that category of all the dudes getting taken to cleaners? Whatever.
Hey, you said you like pressure, Theodore. Here we go. Here's the pressure.
That's too much pressure. I'm folding under that kind of pressure.
Really?
Oh, you know what? You know what? I feel sometimes it's like, I mean, there's not secret recipe, but it's just you got to find the right person and be patient. For me, it's more about like if I commit into something, just like when I commit into hockey, commit into flying planes, commit into doing business, I commit with I think it's impossible to fail. I just want to achieve what I want. For me, it was important. My parents stayed together until my dad passed a year and a half ago. My parents were together. For me, that was very important. So I'm like, listen, until you feel that you really have the person, there's nothing, you shouldn't rush it. But at the end of the day, I mean, I wouldn't want to be you. And nowadays with all social media to find the right girl, I'm sorry for you, man. It's going to be hard. The odds, I'm betting against you that you'll get a divorce.
Well, thanks for rubbing it in there, Jose.
No, but I'm just saying it's just about it's just, it's a lot of work. And again, you got to put, a lot of water in your wine or vice versa. I know my wife did. She was always there with me with tough. And we did have some tough events. Like I said, we did lose a son 2 months into his life in 2009. So obviously that brings the bond that brings a solid bond when, you have my son was born in Washington in July. That's when I won the Masterton. He was born July 21st. And then August 14th, he passed away. So when you go through things like that with a person, you already, that's connection that what kind of person she is. And, you need somebody to support you. And for me, I got to say, I'm gonna give her credit because, like I said, I wasn't the easiest guy to be with sometimes, but I felt she always was with me with the right reason. And she still is with the right reason. I mean, it's not about the lifestyle. Yes, she has a great lifestyle, but it's not that. She's really... So it's all about, you got to make sure you're with the girl for the right reason and she's with you for the right reason. And when you're going to have a shitty day, she's going to be able to pick you up. And when you're going to think you're too good, she's going to be able to bring you down. And that's when, and I know for my case, I could name you. I would come after games. I would not give her shit, but I would tell her a situation about the game or bitch about the coach. And I knew she didn't have a clue what I was saying. Yeah, you're right. Just being a good listener. So you need somebody strong. If beyond anyone that has a successful life or business, you need somebody that's supporting you and is being your rock. And it's not easy to find. So I'm lucky so far. I got mine.
Amen. He's right.
Yeah.
Amen.
So you don't have much faith in
But
me.
take your time. You're 29, bro. Take your time.
That's one thing that I do think I have in my favor is I feel like women have that clock where at 30, it's like the milk goes best before and like, holy shit, the lights just came on at the club. I got to find somebody. But in society, they've made us believe like men and women are exactly the same. And as a man, there's no biological clock. It's just play the waiting game. Don't cash out the chips too early. If she's too masculine, let her go. If you can find that right fit like Dave has with Candace or what you have with your wife, just play the long game. And I don't know. Part of me was thinking maybe go to Calgary, maybe a better pond to fish in. I'm in Vancouver full time now, a little bit more liberal than I would like.
Just pull the old card. I'm a goalie. I played. When you pull that card, you're good.
You'd be amazed how often that one does work. But it's getting them to stay, the retention and getting them to behave in a feminine way and good behavior. That's where I'm struggling. Long-term retention.
Anything else, Trav?
I got lots more, but I feel like
go. Shoot me. I mean, I'm here. Go. You could edit what you like, what you don't like at the end. Just.
I wanted to ask you about your relationship with Marty Brodeur and Patrick Watt, both of them, because we recently had Marty's son Jeremy Brodeur on the show. He's been a friend of mine for a couple of years, and there's a story. I guess I'm sure, as you know, being friends with him, but Patrick's recently has a new girl and meets Marty at a golf event last summer, and brings this new girl up to Marty and says, "Hi, so and so. This is Martin Brodeur. He's the second greatest goaltender of all time. This is my right." Like just the balls on Patrick. But I was curious about your relationship with him. I know you have a really good one there. If you could expand on that.
Yeah, Patrick. I like Patrick. Don't get me wrong. I played golf with his two sons in Florida, and I played golf with him. But Patrick was very competitive, and I had my first training camp with him. And you could see that he ran the show. Obviously, my relationship with Patrick grew when he got traded to Colorado, and I played in Montreal. And then it's like we're not really in competition that much anymore. But a funny story with Patrick, just to tell you what you're telling me, that's exactly the way Patrick is. So you remember in 2002 when I won the Vezina, by like one vote ahead of Patrick. And the Hart Trophy, the nominees was me, Jerome Inla, and Patrick. And Patrick kept saying all year, like, "Oh, I had a great year, my best year ever." So I'm sure he thought he had a chance to win, and he did. Like, I mean, I think I won by 1 or 2 votes. So me just being a little bit cocky myself, when I won the Vezina, if you look at my speech, I didn't have a speech ready because I didn't want to jinx myself. But when I won, I just wanted to give it a little shot to Patrick in a way, a friendly way. I'm like, Pat, I can't believe I'm on stage watching you win all the Vezina, and now I'm here winning the Vezina. So I kind of gave a little shot to Patrick, just friendly shot. Then fast forward to when I'm done playing, and I have his 2 sons over at my house in Florida. So I have all my mass here and my awards. So we're playing golf. They come over, and the kids, Frederick, who have Patrick's son, the goalie, he's like, "Oh, I got to take a picture with the Hart and the Vezina, the replicas, and send it to Patrick." So then they take a picture of my thing. They send it to Patrick. They call him, say, "Hey, Dad, look, finally we're touching the Hart." So then I knew right away. He's like, they're FaceTiming. They're like, "Okay," Patrick, like, "Yeah, I want to talk to Jose." So I knew where it was going. He said, "Yeah, very nice. Where's your Stanley Cups? I can't see your Stanley Cups." I'm like, "Okay, Patrick. Yeah, you won. You got 4 cups. You won. You." But it was funny. His kids wanted to bug him because he's that kind of guy that takes it seriously. But in a way, I mean, the guy for me, he was an idol, and he is a legend. And what he does, you could see he's like, I wouldn't have the career I've had if I didn't have him in front of me in Montreal. And Marty Brodeur, same thing, similar story with Marty. We go way back. Me and Marty, I met him. I was 12 years old. He was 15 years old. We would do the hockey school in the summer. Vladislav Trichak just started, say, the Russians doing a hockey school or Trichak. So I went there, but Brodeur was just 15. He just got drafted in the queue. And I was 12 years old. But I was a 12 years old hockey where I wanted to be with the best. I was always pushing everybody to be beside the older guys and show. And Trichak really took interest in me because I was a young kid. And Brodeur, since day one, he's like, "Hey, you're really good. You're really good." But he was like 15. I was 12. So then fast forward the next summer, we go back to the team. Then he gets drafted in the NHL first round, but I'm like 14. And then again, I'm picking it up. He gets drafted. So he always was super nice. He took me, we went for dinner, and I was impressed because I'm like 13 years old, 14. The guy just got drafted first round by Jersey, takes me under his wing, and Trichak for me was a big game changer because he told me, he said, you're going to be you're going to be a star in this. And I was like 13 years old. And he said that on TV back in Montreal. That's when I did my first TV interview because Trichak kept saying, remember that name, remember that name. And then life turns out to be good. Who gives me the award when I win the Vezina? Who was presenting the Vezina trophy? Trichak.
Wow.
Trichak's like, the winner is Jose Theodore. But we go way back. I would go for dinner with Trichak when I was 13 years old. So then Marty was there. And then, talking about Marty, my first time I get called up, I'm 19 years old. I'm playing junior. I get an emergency call back from the NHL because they couldn't get the American goalies to be there with whatever schedule. So I remember I get the team sends a freaking private plane with the owner, and we're going to Hartford. So I'm in Hartford for the first game. And then the following game, it's in New Jersey. And just to tell you how Marty's a class act guy, I get in New Jersey, and you're 19 years old. I'm with Martin Brodeur in my room. I'm like, I'm not moving, I'm not talking, but I walk, and the light back then, we didn't have cell phones, or maybe I didn't have a cell phone. My light of the hotel is flashing, so I didn't want to pick up because I'm like, maybe my roommate has a girl in the city. I don't know, man. And I don't want to pick it up. I call. It's a message. Marty calls, said, hey, Theo, it's Marty. I know you guys are in Jersey right now. Let me know if you want to go for dinner. I'm around. I could pick you up. So that's the kind of guy Marty is. And then fast forward a couple of months after, I go back junior. My first NHL playoff game ever at the Bell Center. We're down. I'm 20 years old. I'm with Jocelyn Thibault. He's the number one guy, but he plays. We're 0-3 in the series. So Trav is like, you're playing the game tonight. So it's Montreal Bell Center, my first playoff game against New Jersey, against Martin Brodeur at home. We end up winning the game in triple overtime. One of the longest games in Montreal. I think I got like 65 shots. We won 4-3 against Brodeur. So for me, Marty is a guy that I respect because he always really helped me out, treated me good. Obviously, he's, for me, in top 3 goalies that ever played the game. I played with him at the World Cup when we won the gold medal in Toronto. I have respect for all these guys. That's the thing. I want to be the best, but I could tip my hat to guys like him, Luongo, and they're such great goalies and great person. As long as you're nice, you're a good human being, man. You could be a goalie. I'm not the best. The best goalie plays the games, and it is what it is. After that, let's go for a beer and have some fun. And the next day, if I'm better than you, I'll play. If not, you'll play, and we'll still have a beer. I mean, it's a game, man. We're playing a game. I'm gonna sound like Allen Iverson. Practice. We're talking about practice, but we're playing a game. We're getting paid millions to play a game around the world, the nicest cities. You got to enjoy your time on and off the ice as well.
Well, to quote Mike Keane, I know he said it a few times. He said, the game has been very good to me.
To coach Jose Theodore, the game has been great to me.
That's good to hear, man. I'm glad to hear that you appreciate it too.
I know you're new to social media. Have you at all seen the viral video from about a year ago of Patrick Waugh roasting Kelly Rudy?
No.
So I think he's at like a nephew or somebody's house, and he's playing mini sticks with his like granddaughter. And somebody's filming it from, I don't know what angle, but like way back in the house. And his granddaughter's like, hey, Grandpa, how do I look? And he says, you look better than Kelly Rudy.
That's right.
She's like 3 or 4 years old and just, boom, Kelly Rudy catching strays.
Kelly Rudy, another great guy. Just a quick story. When I was in Denver and I had my off season, and I played bad, and I was still like making big money, played bad. And Kelly Rudy, one time I get a call. I'm like, what's that number? Calgary? What? Or I don't remember the area code, but whatever. Call him, Kelly Rudy. And every time I would see him on the road, obviously, the goalie union. I don't like seeing a goalie struggling. It's not fun to see somebody that's not, even if you're not playing, it's like now we see it in Montreal with Montembeault. He won the last game, but it's not fun. So he called me out of the blue. He's like, yeah, Theo, I want to say, man, keep working hard. I mean, I trust you. You're going to bounce back. And these are little things that, what? It happened. I played another 7-8 years after that. But these are little things that, what? Every time I see Kelly, I'm saying, man, I appreciate that. It's not a big thing. You don't need a big speech. But when somebody takes the time to call you and say that, just like when Jeff Hackett took the time to come in Colorado to be a coach, for me, that means a lot. So just to go back to when you say you're a mentor, or I would, for sure, a guy like Markstrom, I want to take care of him. And Varlamov, I was good friends with him, and I was helping him, even though when he was playing instead of me. Because, like I say, you know, there's two things. You could be a great goalie, but you need to be a good person, especially a good teammate. That's why I could call any of my teammates. Maybe there's two guys that didn't get along with out of everybody I play with. I could call anybody right now and say, hey, you want to come play golf or have a beer? And that's you got to enjoy your time and appreciate what we are blessed to play this game.
And I would assume Bruce is two of them.
No, he's in the class by himself.
Well, he's big enough to be two guys, but the last one I got for you, I wanted to talk about the Propecia for a second, and if I could tell you just a quick story. I remember seeing on TSN, I'm like 9 years old, and they're talking about Theodore test positive for steroids or whatnot, and then obviously, you know, when you look into it enough, oh, it's Propecia. What's Propecia? Oh, for hair. I was 19 years old, and my roommate at the time is like, Trav, you're going bald. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going bald, but like, yeah, it's definitely, you know, running away from me, kind of doing the Daytona 300 on me. And so went to go see a doctor, and he's like, oh, well, we can do Rogaine or Propecia. And I was like, oh, Propecia. Theodore used Propecia. And I've been using it ever since. So my hairline has been saved because of you getting busted.
You know what? That was funny because at the end of the day, I've been taking Propecia since I'm, I don't know, 20 years old, you know, like it came out and I know like my dad was bald and my brother, I'm like, okay, there's a new pill. Perfect. But think about 20 years old. I went to the World Championship. I got tested. I went to the Olympics training camp in the summertime, got tested. I got tested a bunch of times. Nobody ever said anything. So when that came out, I was like, what? It's a masking for steroids. So I would tell media, I was like, listen, if I'm masking steroid, look at my body. Do I look like a guy that's taking freaking steroid? I'm like, whatever it is. But then me being a business guy, when that came out, I called my agent. I'm like, call Propecia. Can I get a contract for endorsement for them? I went like, why not get paid to put it out there? Look, you took it because of that. So all that to say, it was a big thing. But yeah, again, that's just being Montreal. It was a big thing, but it was, I mean, if you think you're going to lose hair, take a pill not to lose hair. If you have a bad skin, take a pill to fix your hair. If you don't want to get pregnant, take a pill not to get pregnant. It is what it is. But nobody told me that it was illegal, and I got tested a million times. So it was just, again, that was the season where I got traded. So it started with these guys, then started with Propecia, and then I heard my heel media. So that was all in that same frame. So you could imagine, put everything into 4 months. It was a shit show in Montreal. So that's one of the reasons I say, okay, I guess now it's time I go somewhere else and just refocus.
Big question is, how's your hairline? There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Let's see the back. Let's see the crown, too. Let's see the back.
49.
Oh, wow.
My man.
Dave, let's see your hairline.
I'm still.
Come on, let's see. What do you...
Never had an issue.
Oh, no. Oh, good.
Big long walks.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're like a rock star, man.
Keanu Reeves. My wife's trying to make me look like Keanu Reeves.
I wouldn't push it that far.
You never answered. Did you get the sponsorship with Propecia, though?
No.
They didn't want to sign you?
I don't know if my agent called or didn't call. Just say, okay, it's not going to work. Okay, well, didn't work out.
He wants $10 million, only offer $8.
Just like when I put the Toque on in Edmonton for that game, that was Puma. I didn't think it was a big deal. I just did it I wanted one picture. I said, it'd be cool if I had the Toque on my mask during the warm-up for one picture. I'll be happy. And then the guys after warm-up, all my boys are like, keep it on. It looks good. Keep it on. Keep it on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep it for the game. So I keep it. As soon as the game finished, I'm talking to Hockey Night in Canada. Everybody's talking about my Toque and this and that. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. You know, like I didn't really think it was a big thing, but it became a big thing. So then same thing. I called Puma. I said, hey, you got to give me a deal. You're selling Toque left and right in Montreal. So like, well, it's a little bit too late, but we'll give you like 20,000 of free clothes or whatever. But so I took that, but it was just it happened. When you don't think about it, that's when things happens usually.
I'm sure Ricky Fowler was happy about it.
Ricky's great.
Man, savvy businessman you are too. Call Propecia, call Puma, Show me
Hey,
the money.
you got it. Hey, why not?
Absolutely, why not?
Oh man, dude, this has been awesome. I've been telling Dave about this for a while, and I promised Dave I wouldn't fanboy too much. But like I said it off the top of the show, you were the guy that really inspired me to become a goaltender. And I remember having the posters in my bedroom as a kid, and tell my dad I want the iTech stuff and I want the Vaughn stuff because Theodore's wearing it. And this has been really cool to have you on the show and get to know you.
I appreciate your support, and like I said, you guys are doing a great job. I watch you guys, and very interesting. So it's fun. It's fun to see. Like I say, it's fun to be back in the game and just tell stories that people might know or not know. I don't know.
Well, listen, and speaking of the podcast, bon chance avec your podcast. I mean, I wish you all the success in the world. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to hear you're telling us a few of the people that you got lined up to come on the show. So, again, throw it out there. Where can people go find the podcast?
Yeah, the podcast, it's called 60 with 60. So it's obviously on YouTube, but there's an app. It's called KO Sports. So you just download the app, KO Sports, and you got a bunch of podcasts. It's there. And then my Instagram is very easy, Jose Theodore 60. And it's just, I'm taking it slowly. I'm a new guy. I'm not 29 years old like you, man. I got to figure it out slowly.
Well, you're doing a heck of a job, man. Appreciate the time. You had an amazing career. You're a hell of a guy, and I look forward to that golf game. We'll get it in there eventually.
Anytime. Let me know, man. In Montreal, you come, and you know what? If ever you need another guest, I'll come. I got plenty more stories for you.
If you're ever in Winnipeg, let's get you in studio right here in this chair across from us.
In the Peg, yeah, for sure. I'll go there, but just summertime, not winter.
I don't know if there's a reason to come here, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Sling the Biscuit Summer Series. We do new episodes every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 in the Prairies, 9 in the foothills of Calgary, 8 a.m. on the Pacific Northwest, Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco. I'm Travis Ridge, and that is Dave Wheeler. That is Jose Theodore. We'll see you next Sunday. Thanks for watching.